What's good, Cowboys Nation? This is JT Wolf here, representing the 14 Rings NFC East podcast, here to bring you another episode of Barbershop Talk with JT, yours truly. Hope everybody's having a great evening and looking forward to the game that's happening Sunday night. Minnesota Vikings come to Dallas, Texas to play the Dallas Cowboys. I hope y'all are ready. I'm ready, and we definitely need to rebound from that debacle that happened in Detroit. I can't stand Detroit. It's one of my most hated teams, and the more and more I think about it, the more and more it's just for me to just they can kick rocks. But we're moving forward. And before I get started into this matchup against the Minnesota Vikings, I want to touch base on episode 2 of Hard Knocks. I know I missed it last week. Sorry about that, y'all. But I was able to touch base on it on the most recent episode. This time around, I'm going to touch base on episode 2. It leads up to the game to Detroit. And our coach, Shoddy, he basically said that there was a mishap that happened in practice where they were like, he was trying to keep their mindset focused on not letting the success get too big for you, but never forget where you came from. And I felt like some of these guys forgot where they came from going into this game, having the sugar high, having that big head mentality, knowing that, we're about to roll over this team. But you never underestimate your opponent. And that's what happened with Detroit. So, long story short, I was looking at just their execution on what took place going into this matchup. Dak was really ready. He was ready for the matchup itself. He was letting CD know what he needs from him, as well as Pickens. CeeDee Lamb had this locked in moment where he's just he ain't say anything, he just looked. So at that point I knew, okay, he was ready for this matchup. And it clearly showed in the matchup against Detroit where he had 6 receptions for 121 yards. I believed he would have got over 200. He would have cracked it. But it ended due to a concussion. I got a chance to take a look at how he did today. It's his second day doing practice, leading for the Vikings game. He has one more practice to see where he's at and also the clear protocol. But for right now, he's practicing. He was moving around. It was exciting to see. Hopefully he's able to suit up for Sunday night against the Vikings. One thing that I noticed from that, it was a nasty hit. He hit his head and it just messed him up for the most part. But I know CeeDee Lamb is one of those dudes that when he heals up, he comes back better. And if he does play, I believe he'll have a good game. But I definitely want them to ease him back into the matchup and stuff like that, where George Pickens got to be involved. But back to Hard Knocks, where just going into the game, I think it was either Stephen Jones or Jerry said he was nervous about the game. And I'm like, you got to make sure you have tough assurance going into the game. But maybe just there was others that was nervous just on the cockiness of the team and whatnot. But yeah, it happened. And only so much we can do from that. We have 4 games to go. Got to execute on those games and see how it plays out. But take one game at a time, because that's going to be the key in order to finish out this year strong and leave out on a good note. And it depends. If they make the playoffs, they have a good note to continue on. If they win out and have a good note and don't make the playoffs, it's okay. We know where our team is from there, and it showed that they didn't quit with 4 games left. So overall, I thought the episode was fine. It's very interesting how they split up all the teams in the division. But yeah, for Dallas, it was just they were ready to play. But I really need to see Eberflus. I need to see Curtis as well as Overstreet. And I'll throw in another name, throw in Thompson in there as well. I'm curious what they're talking to the defense about. Because the more and more I'm looking at it, I'm seeing so much offense base, and I'm like, okay, pan it to Eberflus. Pan it to these guys in the secondary because they got absolutely destroyed in Detroit. So, all right, what you gonna do next? We got the Vikings coming to town. I'm interested to see what the outcome of that was going in episode 3, going up against Minnesota. I'm done talking about Hard Knocks. Let's get into this matchup. So, one thing that I'm looking for in this game against the Vikings is a couple of key things. And I'm going to go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off. Special teams. Aubrey, I told you what to do. Cowboys Nation. We got to let them know what they got to do. Aubrey, if you know your guys are not going to get down there to stop a returner, kick the ball into the end zone, send them to the 25. Things either the 20 or the 25. But just kick it to the back of the end zone like you normally do. It wouldn't hurt. And special teams, make your tackles. No more missed tackles. When you see whoever has the football, you go attack. Point blank. When the football touched their hand, you should see red and go and attack the moving object. No more giving up 251 yards on special teams. Have the opposition work down the field. Don't just gift them early Christmas presents. You should have known better than that. I expect my special teams to be better going into this game against Minnesota. And Aubrey learning from his mistake and kick the ball in the back of the end zone for the touchbacks. So that's 1. 2, defense. I'm sick of cover 2. Eberflus, put your ego aside. We're trying to give you a chance, but your zone is failing. It's outdated. You got to upgrade. That's the only thing that's going to help this defense. Defense is known for forcing turnovers, but instead we're giving out gifts. No, not for my defense. It hurts to see it. I expect them to have a better game against Minnesota, but you gotta throw away the zone. Minnesota is really good, especially with their 13 personnel, in attacking the zone. So Matt Eber zone. Shift the man press. Press man. Man press. Press man. Whatever you're doing is man to man on the defense. Because if you allow cushion for Jay Jetta and Addison and then Hawkinson and then the other receivers they have, it's going to be open season for them. They're going to shred us in the secondary. It's going to be crazy. Point blank. They're going to shred the secondary. It's going to be like what I said beforehand, where Dallas defense, where your dreams come true. I want them to have nightmares in this game. And hopefully Diggs play. But right now he's in the doghouse because the coaches, somebody is not allowing him to get on the field. Even when he's healthy, they will not put him on the field. And I think egos and coaches upset that Diggs was telling the truth where we need to play more man got under their skin. It's really pathetic that one of these coaches is keeping him. They're running to the Joneses about the player and he's not getting on the field, which dictates politics and other things. If Diggs is healthy, he's our best corner out there. Because I don't trust Bland playing on the outside. He needs to stay in the inside. He needs to stay in the slot, stay in the nickel. And then Revel, they're trying to prove a point with Revel. And the more and more is going, saying that they want to be right with Revel. This man he's hurting. His knee is bugging him. Sit him down. Put Diggs in. He's for the future. Why are you going to rush and tarnish the future? Come on, Dallas. You should know better than that. Try not to preach or rant too much, but in the matchup, special teams got to improve. Defense got to improve as well. Both have to step up. My offense, establish a run game. That's going to really help out the passing. The play action pass is going to open up for your boy Dak. I understood we scored 30 points against Detroit, but this team, you cannot allow this game to be a shootout. So the execution that my defense needs to come out here and play lockdown is key. Special teams, no gifts, have them work down the field. So establish a run game, establish better defense, be aggressive, clean and aggressive. And special teams making plays and pinning them down at their own end zone. That's going to be key in this matchup. TOP. Got to control the narrative, what happens. And it's going to be Sunday night. The light's going to be glamorous. It's going to be big. But it's also a key matchup that you should not overlook your opponent. Look at what's in front of you and go attack. So I want Dallas to be aggressive and attack. Be clean, but be aggressive. That's the only way that we'll be able to assure a victory going up against Minnesota, because Brian Flores, who's the coordinator on the defense for Minnesota, is nothing to sneeze at. He has guys out there playing, hustling. These guys are dogs. And in Minnesota, they're happy about their defense. I want them to have a rude awakening and realize that my offense is the beast in Texas, where nobody in Minnesota should be on Monstar status in Texas. On Sunday night, Dallas, you got to rise up. Cowboys Nation, we got to rise up. We got to stand behind our team, but we also got to call out what's wrong. Eberflus is the problem. The secondary coach, Andre Curtis. The secondary coach, Evan Overstreet II. And then the other positional guy on the coaching staff, and Darren Thompson. We got to call out what's wrong. Don't be complacent. This team can be far better than what you're seeing, but these guys are holding back the defense. They need to assure better establishment on executing the plays for the players. They're putting them in bad positions. They're putting the wrong players out there where they should be putting in the right players. We got to call them out on that. If I'm one of them that's calling them out, Cowboys Nation, I expect y'all to be right next to me calling this stuff out. Because if you want to see another championship, you have to see what's going on. If you see it, you got to call it out. That's the best thing that's going to help this team, but it's also going to help the nation understand what they're being blinded by. We got to help lead them to the promised land. And in order to do that, we got to call out what's going on and put the pressure on the Joneses. Yeah, we got the players, but we need to execute with the players. We got to call out what's going on. Have them set things right. That's the only way that's going to happen. So, recap. Special teams got to be better. Defense got to play better. Offense got to be consistent, establish a run, and play physical. I want all the guys to have fun. Go out there, get a dub for your team, for your city, or your state. And one other thing that you can do, go out there and win this game for Marshawn Kneeland. One game at a time. Dallas Cowboys, I believe in you. Do y'all believe in yourself? Alrighty. That ends the Barbershop Talk with JT. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to have more content coming up for the upcoming episode for 14 Rings NFC East podcast, where it's going to be the recap of the game between Minnesota and Dallas. So I'm interested to see what happens. I think I'm the last one on the slate because it's a Sunday night game. I've been first the last 2 times. I need to sit back and just kind of process what's going to happen. But with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you saw, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to our first 1,000. And you can check us out on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spotify, Twitter X, TikTok, and Threads. Everyone have a blessed one. Have a blessed weekend. Happy holidays. DC for life. Always keep your head on the swivel. Watch your back. Cowboys Nation. Stand tall. DC for life. Blessings. Much love. JT Wolf out. Peace.